Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Terron Armstead's retirement is now official. After more than a decade of excellence in the NFL, the five-time Pro Bowl left tackle has officially closed the chapter on his storied career. While fans and insiders had anticipated this moment ever since his emotional announcement in April, the Miami Dolphins confirmed it Monday by placing him on the reserve retired list. It's a move that not only signifies the end of a powerful presence on the offensive line, but also brings strategic financial implications for the franchise. By waiting until after June 1st, the Dolphins cleverly eased the cap hit, reducing the turned to a wild bird in the $7.8 million instead of the $9 million he previously carried. This adjustment also pushes a dead cap hit of $10.8 million to 2026, giving Miami a bit more flexibility in the immediate term. But this story is about more than numbers. It's about legacy, leadership, and the emotional departure of one of the game's most respected linemen. Armstead first announced his retirement on a warm April night in Miami, surrounded by friends, family, and former teammates from both the New Orleans Saints and Miami Dolphins. That moment marked the beginning of an emotional wave of tributes and memories that poured in from all corners of the league. After the celebration, Armstead took to social media to share his reflections, crafting heartfelt posts on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. His words were filled with gratitude, pride, and peace, a man clearly content with the career he built and the relationships he forged. "This was always more than a game to me," he wrote. "This has literally been my life." That kind of raw emotion resonated with fans and players alike, underlining just how much football meant to him and how deeply he gave of himself on every snap. What makes Armstead's story particularly compelling is where it all started. Drafted in the third round of the 2013 NFL Draft out of Arkansas Pine Bluff, he wasn't handed anything. He had to earn his spot, prove himself, and grind for respect. And he did with style and power. He broke through with the New Orleans Saints and quickly became one of the league's premier left tackles. Over the years, he built a reputation not just for his technical skill and athleticism, but for his presence in the locker room. Drew Brees, who shared 9 seasons with Armstead, summed it up best during the retirement party. He was a leader in the locker room, a leader in the huddle, and he was going to be a leader throughout the league. That kind of praise from a Hall of Fame quarterback speaks volumes about the man behind the pads. But what truly defined Armstead was his resilience. Despite a career plagued by injuries, he even joked at his party that he might be the most injured guy in NFL history. Armstead never backed down. He never played more than 15 regular season games in any year, and in 4 of his first 6 seasons, he played in 10 or fewer. Yet his dedication to preparation, recovery, and performance was unmatched. His teammates saw it. They knew the pain he played through, the effort he put into being there on game day. That's why he was a 7-time team captain. That's why his presence mattered just as much off the field as it did on it. His work ethic wasn't a secret. It was the standard. When Armstead joined the Miami Dolphins in 2022, he brought with him not only elite talent, but a winning mentality. It didn't take long for Miami to embrace him as a cornerstone of their offensive line and a voice of leadership in the locker room. He earned 2 more Pro Bowl selections during his 3 seasons in South Florida, proving he still had plenty of dominance left in the tank. But beyond the accolades, it was his mentorship, his calm under pressure, and his example that elevated the unit. Young stars like Jalen Waddle and Jalen Ramsey didn't hesitate to show their love online. Waddle simply posted HOF, and that might just be the next chapter in Armstead's journey, a legitimate shot at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. On social media, Armstead's farewell was filled with love and appreciation. He thanked both franchises that shaped his career, singling out owners, general managers, and coaches by name. To the Benson family, Stephen Ross, Mickey Loomis, Chris Greer, Sean Payton, Mike McDaniel, thank you, he wrote. Tears in my eyes as I close this huge chapter in my life. He called out the countless trainers, teammates, and friends who were part of the ride. And most moving of all was his statement, "It's not sadness, it's excitement." That optimism captures who Armstead is, someone who embraced the highs and lows, celebrated the journey, and now looks ahead with peace and purpose. That emotional balance is rare in pro sports, and it speaks to the maturity and spiritual grounding he carried throughout his career. It's clear that Armstead's impact extended far beyond the football field. He was a pillar in the community, a mentor to younger players, and a leader who led by example. His toughest leadership challenge, he admitted, was leading me. That self-awareness shows the depth of character he brought to every locker room. While offensive linemen rarely get the spotlight, Terran Armstead earned every bit of recognition through his actions. Whether it was grinding through pain, coaching up teammates, or anchoring a crucial drive, his value went beyond the shoe. Stat sheet: the Dolphins and Saints didn't just lose a player, they lost a guiding force. His retirement leaves big shoes to fill, not just on the line, but in the heartbeat of two franchises. The responses from former teammates only reinforce how respected Armstead truly was. Tyreek Hill's emotional post, "I'm crying real tears," shows the personal bond they shared. Drew Brees' words highlighted Armstead's transformation from an unknown rookie to a league-wide leader. These aren't just platitudes, they're testaments to a career that was as much about people as it was about performance. That's the mark of a true professional. Armstead didn't just block defenders, he uplifted those around him. He was the kind of player every team dreams of having and every fan respects regardless of allegiance. So now, as the 72 steps away from the game, the legacy of Terran Armstead begins to crystallize. He walks away with 5 Pro Bowl selections, years of leadership, and the admiration of everyone who ever shared a locker room with him. But perhaps more importantly, he walks away fulfilled. Not everyone gets to say that. For many players, retirement is filled with uncertainty, regret, or longing. For Armstead, it's different. He exits the game with peace, purpose, and perspective. And if you listen closely, you can hear it in his voice. He's not closing a door, he's opening a new one. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't the last we'll see of him in football. With a mind as sharp and a presence as influential as his, coaching, mentoring, or even broadcasting might be in his future. But whatever comes next, one thing's certain: Terran Armstead has already left an indelible mark on the NFL. A third-round pick from Arkansas Pine Bluff, who became a franchise cornerstone for 2 proud organizations. A player whose heart was just as big as his frame. Football might be done with him, but his story is far from over. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? In an absolutely shocking twist that no one saw coming, Tyreek Hill, one of the most electrifying wide receivers in the NFL, has reportedly left the Miami Dolphins and signed with none other than their bitter rivals, the New England Patriots. Yes, you heard that right. The same Tyreek Hill who became a beloved icon in Miami, who helped redefine their offense, is now heading to Foxborough. The news dropped like a bombshell across social media late last night, with multiple insiders confirming that Hill has agreed to a multi-year deal with the Patriots. Fans and analysts alike are still struggling to process this stunning development, as the ramifications for both franchises and the entire AFC East are absolutely massive. This isn't just a big move, it's one of the most controversial decisions of the offseason, possibly even of the decade. Let's take a moment to really understand the magnitude of this move. Tyreek Hill wasn't just another player on the Dolphins roster. He was their offensive engine, their superstar, the face of the franchise. Ever since his arrival from Kansas City, Hill transformed the Miami Dolphins into serious playoff contenders with his blistering speed, unmatched agility, and big playability. Together with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, Hill created one of the most feared QBWR duos in the league. His jersey became a top seller. Kids idolized him, and the Miami fan base fully embraced him as one of their own. That's what makes this move feel not just shocking, but also deeply personal to Dolphins fans everywhere. But what could have driven Tyreek Hill to make such a controversial switch? Early reports suggest that contract disputes and lingering frustrations with the team's long-term vision may have played a role. Apparently, negotiations over an extension have been dragging on for months, with Hill seeking a record-breaking deal that would reflect his elite status in the league. The Dolphins front office, however, reportedly hesitated, citing concerns over salary cap flexibility and future roster building priorities. And then out of nowhere, the Patriots swooped in with an offer that Hill simply couldn't refuse. A massive contract with guaranteed money and the promise of a central role in Bill Belichick's offense. The reaction from the Miami Dolphins fan base has been nothing short of explosive. Within hours of the news breaking, viral videos surfaced across TikTok and Instagram showing furious Dolphins fans burning their Tyreek Hill jerseys in protest. Some of these scenes have been absolutely surreal, crowds gathering outside Hard Rock Stadium, chanting slogans of betrayal, waving banners and setting merchandise ablaze. For many fans, Hill's departure feels like the ultimate act of disloyalty, especially given that he's moving to a direct divisional rival. It's not every day you see such an emotional eruption in response to a player's free agency decision, but Tyreek Hill wasn't just any player. He was a symbol of hope and resurgence for Miami. On the other side of the equation, New England. Patriots fans are ecstatic, to say the least. After several seasons of offensive struggles following Tom Brady's departure, this acquisition signals a bold new era in Foxborough. Patriots head coach Bill Belichick has always been known for his tactical brilliance and his knack for making surprising personnel moves. But bringing in a player of Tyreek Hill's caliber, especially at this stage of his career, is a statement move that suggests the Patriots are all in on reclaiming their place atop the AFC East. The idea of Hill torching defenses while wearing a Patriots jersey is already sending chills down the spines of rival fans. Meanwhile, in Miami, the Dolphins organization is in full damage control mode. General Manager Chris Grier held an impromptu press conference earlier today, expressing gratitude for Tyreek Hill's contributions while also emphasizing the team's commitment to moving forward. Grier mentioned that the team is already exploring trade options and potential free agent signings to fill the massive void left by Hill's departure. But let's be honest, replacing a player of Tyreek's unique skill set is easier said than done. His speed, vision, and playmaking instincts are virtually unmatched in the league, and no one currently on the Dolphins roster can replicate that impact. The ripple effects of this blockbuster move are already being felt across the entire NFL landscape. Analysts are rapidly adjusting their power rankings, with the Patriots suddenly surging up the charts as potential playoff contenders, if not outright division favorites. Meanwhile, the Dolphins' Super Bowl aspirations have taken a major hit. The loss of Tyreek Hill not only weakens their offense significantly, but could also have psychological consequences for the team's locker room chemistry and morale. Tua Tagovailoa in particular is likely to feel the absence of his favorite target, and questions are already swirling about how this will affect his performance in the upcoming season. Adding even more intrigue to the situation is the fact that Tyreek Hill would now be facing the Dolphins twice a year as a division rival. Can you imagine the intensity of those matchups? The storyline practically writes itself. The prodigal star returning to face his former team with a fan base that now sees him as a traitor. Those games are going to be absolutely electric, with emotions running high on both sides. TV ratings will skyrocket, and you can bet that every camera in the stadium will be fixed on Hill's every move. These future clashes between Miami and New England just became must-watch events for any NFL fan. From Tyreek Hill's perspective, this move represents a fresh start and a new challenge. In his official statement released on social media, Hill thanked the Dolphins organization and their fans for the support over the years, but expressed excitement about joining the Patriots and contributing to their winning culture. He emphasized that this decision was about doing what's best for his career and his family, and not about any animosity toward Miami. Still, no matter how diplomatically he frames it, there's no denying that this move will redefine how fans perceive him, from Miami's hero to New England's weapon. As the dust settles, one thing is clear. The NFL offseason just delivered one of its most jaw-dropping moments in recent memory. Tyreek Hill's stunning departure from the Miami Dolphins and his controversial signing with the New England Patriots will be talked about for years to come. It's the kind of move that reshapes franchises, ignites rivalries, and captures the imagination of football fans everywhere. Whether you see him as a trader or a professional making a strategic career choice, Tyreek Hill has once again proven that in the NFL, expect the unexpected. And now, all eyes turn to the upcoming season to see just how this dramatic saga will play out on the field. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!